Hi, Zeus here. Rainmakers are an extremely powerful troop, but grapplers are their nemesis. I'm going to show you how to take down high-level bases with one or even two grapplers and only a single gunboat energy masterpiece boost. This first base has two grapplers, and this is a player with 1,500 victory points. He's got two boosted ice, and he's one of the top 400 players in the world. Anyway, the first thing with a base like this with two grapplers is if you can BART one of the two grapplers, take it out. And then I land my troops with bullet at the front, and I've loaded up bullet taunt. And the idea here is that I'm going to work my way forward through the initial defenses near the landing area, and then at some point my bullet is going to get grabbed by the other grappler, which I haven't BARTed, and at that point I'm going to throw down smoke and I'm going to hit taunt. Meanwhile, the rest of my troops keep plowing through the defenses, and when that smoke clears, almost everything remaining is going to be taunted and not focused any longer on my rainmakers and the other troops that are coming through and chewing through the defenses. So I'm just triggering taunt one after another while the rainmakers are chewing through the defenses. I also have a handful of bombardiers, and there's currently a remote defib, gunboat energy, so I threw down some remote defib to respawn some of the bombardiers, but it's not really necessary for this attack. If the remote defib wasn't there, it'd still be okay. Now, the grappler is still active, and I ran out of gunboat energy to do taunt. So I did lose a couple of my rainmakers there right at the end, and my hero is down. And at this point, that remaining rocket launcher could take out my rainmakers, so I'm just going to flare to it and take it out. It goes down really fast. And then once that is down, there really isn't anything else that's any threat to my rainmakers, and this base will go down. So this is a great example of what I would call a deep base that has two grapplers. And the next video I'm going to show you after this base goes down is what I would call a shallow base, a base that isn't deep into the island, that also has two grapplers. And so, you know, the grapplers can address you immediately on the landing area, and it's a different kind of a problem that you have to solve. So anyway, so this base goes down. Again, at this time, I'm only using a single offensive boost of a gunboat energy masterpiece, and I'm using a total of 7 offensive statues. So this base, I can BART out the far grappler behind the core, the HQ, and the grappler that's in range of the beach, I have to throw down a shock. Now I land my bullet in all of my troops, and the plan here is very similar. You know, take down a bunch of the defenses, and when bullet is grabbed, throw down smoke and shock the grappler, giving my rainmakers and bombardiers a little bit of time to chew through some more of the base. And then once the smoke clears, the taunt's going to be triggered, and that's going to freeze the grappler from being able to grab anything else. And a lot of the defenses that are around the grappler are also going to be targeting bullet and not my defenses. Now, I do have a few medics in there, and they're designed to keep bullet alive longer. And then when bullet dies, the medics are actually going to be there to help with defenses targeting them and not my Rainmakers. So it's okay if we lose a few of those because they're again sort of meat shield protecting my Rainmakers. Now the bullet is dead, and I've got a flare onto that shock blaster because it's chewing through all the medics really fast. And one barrage of all those Rainmakers, and the shock blaster goes down. And then that with that boom cannon down that was next to the rocket launcher on the right, I can now flare towards it with the hope that I can take that down. And once I have that rocket launcher down, this base is really beaten, and it's just a question of time while I reduce the shield and the rest of the health on the core. So that's how you beat one of these bases that has two grapplers, where it's not a deep base but a more shallow base, and one of the grapplers is in range of the landing area. Now the third kind of a base that I'm going to show you also has two grapplers.
One eternity later.
But you're not able to BART either one. And in a second you're going to see why on this particular base you can't BART either one. So this base has a sky shield that's protecting the two grapplers. So, you know, I don't have enough energy, gunboat energy, to BART out the sky shield and a grappler. So I'm going to have to deal with the fact that there are two grapplers. So I land my troops, and the plan here is to shock each grappler off to the side, and then once that shock wears off, to throw down smoke and let the grapplers grab every single one of my Scorchers. And I've deployed 6 Scorchers with 2 on a delayed basis in this combat. When they grab Bullet, again I'm using Taunt, Bullet is going to taunt the grapplers and everything around the grapplers, and freeze the grapplers from seizing anything else. And in the meanwhile, the Scorchers and Bullet are going to take down the 2 grapplers. And I'm using the remote defib to bring back a few Scorchers and a few of the Bombardiers. I had 1 boat of Bombardiers, 4 boats of Scorchers at the beginning, and 3 boats of Rainmakers. Now I'm throwing in the last boat of 2 Scorchers. The base really doesn't have much in the way of defenses that can damage my troops, other than the shock blaster immediately behind the core and the 2 shock launchers on either side, the boom cannon behind the shock blaster, and the 2 boom cannons on either side. But again, without a shield, the base goes down very fast. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and give this video a like, please. It'll really help build our channel. And thanks as always to Hercules for help with the video editing.